Fitzpatrick takes the snap, drops back, lobs it back right corner. Decker! He's got it! Touchdown! Eric Decker scores! And the Jets have won it in overtime!
This is the Jet Take with Ben Blessington and Kyle Fahey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Jet Take. I'm your host, Ben Blessington. As always, Mr. Money, Kyle Fahey, joins me on the podcast. A lot to break down tonight. Obviously, the putrid loss the New York Jets suffered at the hands of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Honestly, if the Jets lost every other game but beat Fitz, it might be worth it. Instead, the Jets lost to Fitzpatrick, and we go into the bye at 4-6. We also weren't here last week due to some scheduling issues between Kyle and myself. So we didn't really get to talk about that Bills-Jets game. It's old news now, but I guess the only thing that we did miss that we'll cover tonight is kind of just our midseason MVPs, midseason thoughts. But majority of this show is going to be focused on where the Jets stand heading into the bye, midseason MVPs, as I mentioned, some college stuff, and of course, break down the putrid loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right, Mr. Money, Kyle Fahey. Kyle, how you doing, man?
The tank's back on. The gas is burning.
You said that last show because we didn't have a show to cover the Bucs game. So I'm pretty sure you said that last show.
You mean?
Or the Bills game, I mean.
I said the tank was off last time.
No, you said the tank was on after the Falcons loss.
Yeah. And then it was back on for the Bills game because they looked so damn good. I just couldn't resist.
We didn't cover the Bills game. Okay, Kyle and I are all out of source today. Anyways, Kyle, I guess we'll just hop into it. Initial reaction a few days later. Your thoughts on the Jets-Bills game and what it means for the rest of the season.
It's over. That's what it means.
I wouldn't say that.
This team is bad, like really bad. We're going to hang in a bunch of games. We're going to win one or two down the stretch from here on out. We have the hardest schedule in the NFL remaining. And we're going to hurt our draft stock probably if we win a couple of those games. So tank on. There's only a couple guys really to look forward to for the rest of the year. Robbie Anderson, ASJ, and then on defense, basically the whole defensive line. Leonard Williams, Muhammad Wilkerson, Coney Ely, Steve McClendon, all been playing fairly well. They've all had their ups and downs throughout the year, though. Linebackers, or inside linebackers, I should say, Demario Davis and Darren Lee. He's earned his name.
Wow, that's actually a big occasion. I wish I had a soundbite ready. But for literally the past, 2 years, you've just called him Duran.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time in the history of the show you've called him Darren. But anyways, continue.
He's earned it. He's played well.
Mean comments away. Remember that YouTube video?
Yeah.
Good times.
Or,
anyways.
Wonder if Syracuse saw that one. What would happen? But, and then on the back end, obviously the rookies, Marcus May and Jamal Allen. So besides that, it still looks bad for your record. Besides that, there's really nobody else to really look forward to. So, take it if you can get it.
Yeah. Look, this game, now I disagree with Kyle. I agree with him to the fact that I don't think this team is very... What? Oh, yeah.
What else?
You're right. There is nothing else, so that's new. But I disagree with Kyle on a few points. I do agree that this team is bad. I think they're better than their record shows because I think a lot of people will concede that there are a lot of games. Really, you ignore the first 2 weeks of the season. From week 3 on, the Jets have been in every game that they've played. And that's all you could really ask from this team. Even if they go and lose, that's what we wanted. I know Kyle wanted a 1-15 record or whatever. But one of the things you would say is I hope they play tough. I hope they stay in games that they shouldn't be in. I hope they play to the level of their opponents, hopefully in a good way. And then the Jets have done that all year. This last game was probably the worst game they've had since that Oakland game. And that includes a 3-game losing streak. It's disappointing. I don't think it was the defense's fault as much. I think they made some mistakes, but it was the offense's fault for only putting up 3 points in the first, 58 minutes of the game, 59 minutes of the game or whatever it was. It's just disappointing. I think Kyle put it best. But I disagree with you on the fact that they're completely out of it. I mean, I don't. Look, I don't expect the Jets to make the playoffs, but the reason Josh McCown is going to be the starter and probably will be for the next, at least, my prediction is this: I think once the Jets hit 8 losses, whenever that is, I think then they'll go to Petty. Because you don't see really any wild card teams make it at 8-8. I mean, the lowest you'll see is 9-7. You pretty much always have to have a winning record. Once you hit an 8-8, I think you'd see Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg. But if you look at the AFC wild card race for that last spot, the Bills are 5-4. Then the Dolphins, Ravens, and Raiders at 4-5, and then the Jets at 4-6. So you look at it. If the Bills, Dolphins, Ravens, and Raiders lose their games, we'll be tied for the 7th seed. If that makes sense.
That math just confused the hell out of me, and I know it's unrealistic. We retweeted
the tweet, and look, I'm not trying to get anybody's hopes up, and the Jets do have a hard remaining schedule, but we know they have had flashes of brilliance. But the reason I disagree when you say they're out of it, they're mathematically they're not really even. They're still in it mathematically, and that's not even a stretch.
No, I think we
because the top team they've beaten. The 6th seed right now is the Bills at 5-4, and they beat them. Then the next 3 are all tied at 4-5, and that's the Dolphins, Ravens, and Raiders. And the Jets have a bye this week, so if the Dolphins, Ravens, and Raiders all lose, we'll be tied for the 7th seed, and we beat the 6th seed, if that makes sense. So I think the Jets
currently have the same percentage to get the number 1 pick as they do to make the playoffs.
No,
if I read that correctly.
That's definitely incorrectly. That's definitely incorrect.
I'm going to check that.
The Jets right now are the
10th seed.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you're right. But that's not like that. That's not they're a game back, Kyle. But they're a game and a half back from the 6th seed.
And we also play the hardest schedule in the NFL.
I'll say this. If the Jets, look, and I don't think the Jets are going to make the playoffs. I should probably open with that. I'm saying this through a very optimistic lens, but I don't believe that. Who knows? Maybe the Jets can turn it around and play like they did against Buffalo a few weeks ago. Speaking of that, we got to talk about the Tyrod Taylor thing. But
maybe they'll turn on the Jets and make the playoffs.
Yeah, there you go. Nice plug there. Oh, thank you for reminding me of the plugs. I'm going to do those in a bit. But
doing your job for you, man.
Well, I normally do them beginning and end. I might have to do middle and end, I guess. But no, I don't think the Jets are completely out of it. I don't think they'll make it, but I think you could look at it as the Jets control their own destiny, if that makes sense. If you win.
No, I think it's the other team benching their star players.
Kyle, it's not. Look at the teams ahead of them. The Dolphins
look at the teams ahead of our schedule.
The Dolphins are awful. The Raiders are not playing that well. They're 4-5. The Jets are 4-6. It's a difference because they've had their bye and we haven't.
2 teams we've lost to.
We also beat the Dolphins once, Kyle, so we split with the Dolphins, so that doesn't affect
before their offense was even remotely an offense.
Kyle, their offense is terrible now.
And they have
their one win against us was or I guess I could say this, the one fourth quarter against us was an anomaly throughout their entire season. The first 3 quarters that we saw against the Dolphins in that game, the first 3 quarters of the Dolphins that we saw that game, Kyle, were the team that they played the entire year.
Did they win?
They won the second game, but we won the first game. So, anyways, Ravens. I don't think the Jets are going to make it, but the Jets aren't completely out of it. I'll say this.
Ben, here's an easier way to do it. Are we going to beat the Carolina Panthers?
You never know, Kyle.
Ben.
Kyle, you didn't think the Jets would win 4 games, did you?
How many have we won, Ben?
We've won 4. You said they would win 2.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're the
what did we gain out of
predictor that you think you are.
What do we gain out of that?
That's not the debate, Kyle. What we get out of that, Kyle, is we've shown that throughout a team that people thought were terrible, that they at least have some promise. The young guys are playing well. Marcus May is a ball hawk. Jamal Adams flies around the field. You have young players playing well.
Hot take, Jamal Adams is the second best safety on this team. Just so.
Maybe at this point right now. I think Jamal Adams' ceiling is much higher, and that's not even criticizing Marcus May. I think Jamal Adams has the highest ceiling, or one of the highest ceilings in the draft. But yeah, Marcus May is a terrific player right now, and Jamal Adams is a good player right now, and I think he can be very good as well. But as far as 2 rookie safeties coming in and both having success, especially one being a second-round draft pick, that's pretty impressive for the New York Jets. But I mean, Kyle, you think about it, you put together a good draft class and then maybe a solid free agent class. I mean, you don't need, I don't go out there and spend a bunch of money, but, I mean, they might have to bring in a quarterback, Tyrod Taylor,
that's
anybody.
Gonna happen. Yeah. I have a rant for later.
We'll get on that in a second. But, like, you basically just add one more shot of an off season, if that makes sense, one more shot of McCagnon players, and I think you could be looking at a team that would be realistically competing for the wild card spot.
No.
Yes.
We would be a playoff team if we had a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. So, Kyle, you give us so pick your quarterback for next year. Don't make it too much of a pipe. Okay. No. Pipe dream. Let's say the Jets go and sign Tyrod Taylor. They draft.
Or a playoff team, no matter what, after that.
Yeah, well, but so you think about they add another running back, so they get rid of Forte, but, Powell's good. You look at the receivers. Powell is great off the bench. I think Powell would be terrific on a contender where he could come off the bench. I'm trying to think of the right spot.
He would be a Pro Bowler with the Patriots.
Yeah, that was the first team that popped into my head, but I didn't want to say the Patriots. I'll say, like, you put him. What are, like? Why can I not think of, like, any of the dominant teams? You put him in, like, Tevin Coleman's role in the Atlanta offense, like, he's flourishing. Like, just as a guy who comes off the bench, gets 30% of the carries. I don't know. But, yeah, I agree with you. And I think Elijah McGuire's a solid, rookie prospect type of guy. But you need one more guy, preferably a bell cow. And Matt Forte is not that. So you have to address a hole at the running back position, quarterback position. Wide receivers, you get a Nunwa back, and that's huge, especially if he continues the ascent that he had last season, Kyle. Because Robbie Anderson is kind of having the exact same ascent that Quincy had last year, if that makes sense, different players. I like Curse. But yeah, I think we need another I think he will. At least at this point, because
find the room for him.
Our Darius Stewart and Chad Hansen are not looking that good.
They're also not going to get cut year 2.
I agree, but you never know. Chad Hansen could get. The Jets have cut second-year players. You don't think you could see Chad Hansen getting cut and placed in the practice squad?
No, not a chance in hell. He would get claimed.
You never know. The Jets cut Shaq Evans after his rookie year.
Shaq Evans was a 6th-round pick, though, right?
He's 4th, right? I might be wrong. It was either him or Jalen Saunders. One of them was a 4th.
Jalen Saunders was the 4th-round pick.
Yeah, and they cut him after a year. Anyways, the point is...
That's because... Didn't he get into, a car crash and get injured, though?
I don't believe so, but you never know.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't think he did, but I'll look it up as we keep going. But, yeah, the Jets have some holes. But anyways, we'll have months and months and months to talk about the Jets' potential in 2018. But let's bring it back to 2017. I just think, the Jets have what they've shown, because you asked me, well, what do they get about winning 4, 5, 6 games? It's just they're starting to build a culture of winning, or at least, I'm not saying 4 wins is a culture of winning, but it's better than being 1-15, if you know what I'm saying. You have younger players playing well. You have an exciting team. And we think about all the positive energy that was surrounding the Jets last week when they played the Bills. Think about
to clarify on Jalen Saunders, he got into the accident because he has seizures that are nearly untreatable. So it's probably why he was cut.
Was that before or after he was cut?
It said member of the Jets in this article. So I'm going to say.
What month, year was it?
3 years ago. New Jersey Online.
I know, but what month or year? Give me the year.
Oh.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a moot point. Anyways. I don't think he was in the Jets August of, what would that be, 2014?
14. I'll go check.
Oh, he was on the, I don't remember. I think he might have been on the Jets, because if that was 2014, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Anyways, the point is, 4th-round picks can get cut. But that wasn't my argument. Anyways, just the Jets have, some talented young safeties. Obviously Leonard Williams is a guy you can build around, although he's not been playing too amazingly in my mind, at least not a game record.
He's been.
We'll talk. Well, don't worry. We're going to get to some midseason observations in a second. We're going to finish this whole thing. We'll do some plugs, and I guess we'll hop right into
Saunders was with us in August.
So he got into a car crash and then was cut because of the car crash. But didn't he play in 2014?
He had a seizure, and
he was drafted in 2014.
I don't know what to tell you then.
Okay, I don't know. Anyways. I don't even know what we were saying. The point is that the wins aren't meaningless. Although Fahey seems, I took the very centrist approach of I see the value in losses, but I'm going to cheer for the Jets. It doesn't matter what I do. I hope the Jets win. And as far as the Jets still, as long as the Jets even have a 3% chance of making the playoffs, I'm going to cheer for it to happen. And it's higher than a 3% chance because they're only a game and a half back. So, I mean, do I think it's going to happen? No, but as long as the Jets are playing, I'll cheer for those teams ahead of us to lose, and I'll cheer for the Jets to win. It's pretty simple. And if the Jets go ahead and lose against Carolina, I'll still cheer, and then once they get that second loss, then I'll probably start to twist the tide to losing. Because once you lose 8 games, you're out of it. Then I'll switch to, start petty, and, start losing.
I'm already on the petty bandwagon. I mean,
I would like to see petty as well. I would like to see petty as well. But I'm saying the Jets, I don't think would play them until they lose 8 games.
Based on the way John Morton and Jeremy Bates are talking, it sounds like they're never going to play them.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying this is football. But the one thing I will say, though, is Josh McCown, 38 years old, if he gets hurt, and he has been getting hurt, or he's gotten hurt in years past. And I don't mean to say anything, though. After that one hit he took, and he looked pretty fuzzy that entire game. And,
are you?
I'm not speculating anything, but I don't know. I think he might have.
Those 10 points were due to a. We'll see.
No, I'm saying that I think he probably deserved to enter the concussion protocol. Meaning,
are you a neurologist then?
No. Wow, great pronunciation.
Neurologist.
Neurologist.
A neurologist.
Oh, that's not how you said it the first time. But
no, I kind of choked on my own.
You're like neurologist. But no, I look, I don't know if he did, but he looked. I mean, I think most of our listeners would agree that after that hit, he just looked funny.
I don't even know what hit you're talking about, to be honest.
It was basically just a free rusher. It was a defensive end, and then he just kind of was going through his progressions, and he just looked, and the guy hit him like a train, and then he got up, and he just looked fuzzy. Now, I don't know if he did, but I think refs probably should have sent him to the sideline.
That's just the Texas in him, Ben. He looks a little dazed and confused.
Wobbly, I guess. I don't know. I might be wrong. But I was just saying, I mean, you never know. This guy has a dad bod and has like 5 kids. He takes one shot.
Josh McCown is the chin of God, and I don't want to hear you say
I think Josh McCown has done a terrific job. I'm just not going to acknowledge the chin of God comment. But, no,
I think I saw it on Twitter. It was. Do you remember Fairly Odd Parents?
Sure. Oh, that chin dude?
Yeah.
I forget the superhero's name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, use your photoshopping skills for good ones and take that guy and just put Josh McCown's face on it.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna Google this. You keep talking.
All right, and hopefully Kyle can do it while we have the show. But anyways, those are just initial thoughts. I guess we'll do some plugs, and then we'll do some mid-season awards, and I guess some of these aren't awards. But you can follow our show. It doesn't feel right to do it.
Crimson Chin.
The Crimson Chin.
Oh my God, it's Josh McCown.
It feels weird to do the plugs at the beginning, at the middle of the show, but I guess I'll do them. You can listen to our show at the Jet Take. We're on iTunes, Twitter. All over the place, any podcatchers you can think of, and we're also on turnonthejets.com. That's the best place to find great Jets content around the community. Just go to turnonthejets.com. You can find our podcast, as well as other articles and shows and whatever. So great place to look. Wow. Go follow Joe Caparoso on Twitter, and you can also follow our show. Have a review or whatnot. We're going to be doing a giveaway here pretty soon, Mr. Fahey.
Oh.
I can't announce it yet. We're still deciding. You
haven't even announced it to me, so.
Quick timeout. No, I'm kidding. I think next episode we'll announce a giveaway, so stay tuned. We'll probably also do it on Twitter, but stay tuned. A pretty good giveaway. I mean, we've had giveaways in the past that have not been that lucrative, and I feel like the sooner we do it, the better, because it's kind of contingent on how good the Jets are. But yes.
That's a spoiler whatsoever.
Hey, you never know, Kyle. But we'll be announcing that and what exactly and when that could be taking place, and what you'll have to do to possibly win. So we'll do that next episode. Anyways, Kyle, so let's hop into some mid-season talk, I guess, and we'll just go around and I don't want to call them awards because some are negative. I guess we'll open up with a negative. So I guess we have to have an award name, Kyle. This is a trademark opportunity for the show to be like, the ESPYs. Like, the ESPN has the ESPYs, and like people have there's the Sammy Sadness tournament. We need a Jet Take trophy.
I'm looking forward to competing in the Sammy Sadness event this year, and I honestly feel like I deserve it. I'm on the record.
We already know who's about to win it, but we're not going to say anything.
Dude, are we saying the same person?
No, no, I don't think so.
Is it a person who came in second place of it last year and then threw a fit?
No.
Oh.
No, Kyle. Anyways. Kyle, use your marketing skills. Yeah, well, I think, okay, sorry.
We could say Jude, I mean.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to get too off topic. But, Kyle, use your marketing skills. Help us think. I mean, maybe our listeners can help us think. If you have an idea, you can always tweet it at us, and we can use it. We'll probably do mid-season. We'll do these every once in a while, after the season, mid-season, after the draft, whatever, awards, but some of them are negative. So, Kyle, I'm trying to think of an award name. I cannot think of one.
I got one. The Give and the Jet Take. Like, give and take, give and jet take.
No,
we can workshop that.
The Give and Jet Take.
Like, give and take because it's good and bad.
Yeah, no, I see it, but I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring as, like, an award, That it kind of has to end with, like, the E's.
We can workshop it.
It has to be Emmys, ESPYs, Grammys, something like that, Anyways, we'll workshop that, I guess. For right now, we'll call it, I don't even know what to call it now. We'll just call it Faheyisms. You like that? Well, we can call it Faheys.
The Faheys?
We'll call it the Faheys. Yeah, we'll call it the Faheys.
I'm the presenter?
Benny's, Faheys.
No, Faheys.
Fahey has just a better ring to it. We'll do the Faheys, but I guess we'll both be presenting them. For now, it's open to suggestions. So tweet at us, at the Jet Take. Send us a DM or whatever of what you think it should be called. I feel like it should be based off a player, though. That's what I was trying to think. Like, I'm trying to think of just a Screenies. No, it has to be somebody who's just laughing.
The Jalen Saunders Shakies.
Okay. That's so not okay. I'm trying to think of just... Because, like, they have the WAG for Sammy Set. We've literally spent 5 minutes trying to figure out a name for this. It has to be based off a player who's just horrible. The Hackenbergies. There's something there. We will figure it out. We'll call it the Faheys for now. Kyle, I'll open with your take first. The most disappointing player of the year so far. Your take.
Oof. First of all, Ben, I would like to say I'm honored to be a presenter at the Faheys, the first annual Faheys.
Oh wait, you got to give your like speech talking about the environment or something.
Oh,
you got to be like, this is not right.
Yeah, what's a hot topic I can discuss?
Don't. Anything in your Twitter sphere. You could talk about your fellow Floridian. Is it? Yeah, is it Floridian? Floridian.
Are you serious right now? Really? Did you just struggle with that?
What is it?
Floridian.
Yeah, okay, I was right. It just didn't sound right when I said it. It sounded stupid. I think it's because I'm Oregonian, so I was like, did I just take his name?
No, that's not a thing.
Yeah, it is Oregonian. The newspaper is called the newspaper is called the Oregonian.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Or Portlanders. Portlanders, Oregon.
That's much better. The Portlanders. That's way better. And I know it doesn't apply to the state, but like nobody cares about Oregon unless it's like Portland.
There's like Salem and Bend, but you're right. Nobody cares about Vero Beach, Florida either. Anyways, continue.
The millionaires who live here would say otherwise. And I know you have millionaires in your town too, but you live in Portland. As I was saying.
All over the place tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Yeah, here's my speech. Floridian. His name is, God damn it. What's his name? He's got a weird name. It's some out-of-shape white guy. He decided that he is transracial. Don't even ask. and he converted to Filipino because he respects and loves their culture so much. I'm all for doing whatever makes you happy, but I just think as Americans we should stand for that. Just saying. Okay, so
I wasn't even listening, and I hope it just wasn't offensive. If anybody's offended by whatever Kyle said, because I didn't hear my earbud in.
Watch him listen to this show.
It's like
that
one
would
of
be
our
wild.
callers. It's Tyler.
Oh,
Keep going.
you're gonna have to cut that one.
No, I'm not. That's fine. It's fine. I don't know. It's Kyle Smith. It's Jay. I don't know.
Oh.
Anybody.
All right, that was your words, not mine.
Well, I was just throwing out callers. Okay, you're the one who got to turn all snowflake on me. Now I have to cut it. So thanks.
Yeah, cut it.
Just gonna
Cut
leave
it.
it in. I don't
All
care.
right, so the nominees for the most disappointing players of the year. Number one. Well, it's not in order. It's just the nominees. Wesley Johnson, Muhammad Wilkerson, Quincy Enunwa, Darryl Roberts. No, not Darryl Roberts. Marcus Williams. Sorry. Those are the 4 nominees for the most disappointing player of the year. I have my vote. Ben, I doubt we're on the same page here. Go ahead and give your selection for that.
Sorry, can you repeat the nominees, please?
God damn it.
I was not listening. Well,
Wesley Johnson.
I'll say
Wesley Johnson.
mine's Leonard Williams.
He was not a nominee.
He's one of mine.
Okay, mine's Quincy.
And not because, and I mean, I could have worst player and best player, I guess, here, but biggest disappointment because, I mean, you look at Muhammad Wilkerson is definitely close. He has been very good. The only reason I would say biggest disappointment, and he's just, maybe I take it back. I didn't listen to your full, but like, did I hear you say Darryl Roberts?
I said Darryl Roberts, but I meant to say Marcus Williams.
Oh, I mean, no, I don't think. Look, the reason is because Leonard Williams, I was expecting, I was hoping he'd take the even next step to turn into that J.J. Watt, game record. And he still can, and I still think Leonard Williams is a good football player. I would just say disappointment because that was one of the things I was really excited to watching this year was how would Leonard Williams take the next step, and he just really hasn't this season. He's kind of just plateaued,
like
and he's even gotten down. Yeah, you're right. No, he's completely getting triple team. But I was hoping that the great ones learn how to do that, and to get out of those triple teams. But I'll say this: Leonard Williams has all the talent in the world. I have confidence going into his next year that he'll take an even greater step, and he might even prove me wrong down the stretch. I just think so far, and I might look like a fool. And it's
going to be the Buster Screen effect, Ben.
Well, I'm not saying that he had a bad season. I'm just saying in comparison to what the expectations I had for him this season, he's my biggest disappointment. As far as worst player has been, I would have to say, Muhammad Wilkerson would definitely be up there as biggest disappointment. I'd probably have to go Muhammad Wilkerson over Leonard Williams, but I had a feeling you were leaning towards that, so I went Leonard. But Muhammad is definitely the biggest disappointment, even though he had a strong 2 games there for a bit, but for the $86 million the Jets paid him, he has not been worth a single dime this season. Coney Ealy, however, is a guy that we could see in biggest surprise, which is our next category. He's honestly showed way more than me than Muhammad Wilkerson has. But if I had to say the actual one's Muhammad Wilkerson, but I'd give a surprising take. It'd be Leonard Williams just based off of where I thought he could be. But Kyle, take it away.
Yeah, mine was Quincy Enunwa.
Well, I mean, he hurt his neck, so I don't, I guess it's a disappointment to the fans, but he wasn't disappointed.
That's a disappointment to me. I didn't see him progress as a number 1 receiver.
Okay, you're just such a troll. Such a troll.
Yeah. Yep. Internet troll. Professional.
All right, biggest surprise.
Oof. Biggest mistake, damn it.
Surprise.
I ruined that joke. Biggest disappointment and biggest surprise, they kind of correlate. You get what I mean, Ben. Biggest surprise for me.
I have so many categories, Kyle. I have like 20 on my phone right now. I don't think we can afford to take 5 minutes on each one, but keep going.
All right, Darren Lee.
Yeah. I know I just gave you a hard time. I would have to say I think Darren Lee is definitely the biggest surprise as well. But again, for the sake of giving a different perspective, I would have to say Robbie Anderson probably. And not from the fact that I think, like, it wasn't like I was not expecting him to be good, but I really think he's proven to himself that he was not just a one-year wonder, I guess. Because the Jets have had guys in the past, and, you know, obviously Robbie Anderson was different, but the Jets have had guys in the past that have produced, and the next year they've just kind of fallen off. But he seems like a guy who's really taken the next step, and let's hope he doesn't have happen what happened to Quincy Enunwa, is get hurt next year. I think he's a guy I'm really excited to watch these next, you know, how many games are left? 6 games left, I think. He'll be a guy I'm looking forward to watching for sure. I think he's very exciting. He's adding more routes to his route tree. He's coming down with more contested balls than he did last year. I still think he has weak hands, but he's always in the right position. So
Never question.
Well, that's the point. I mean, it might not be his hands. It might just be the fact his frame. He's 6'3", 190 pounds. But I will say this: there's no better deep route wide receiver in the NFL than Robbie Anderson. And I will stand by that claim. And he might not. I mean, he has good numbers, but he might not even have as good a numbers as he can because the amount of times the quarterback has missed him, not seen him, whatever. He is always open on those fly routes. You press him, you don't put safety help on him, he's gone every time. I have no doubt in my mind he can beat every top corner in the league on a fly route with no help. The problem is you got to see him start to develop. You know, he's gotten better at it, but you see these jump balls. Like, I think a perfect example of growth in this last game was you saw the two. Actually, I think this one actually happened earlier in the game, but there was a route to Robbie Anderson. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he didn't. Oh, I remember exactly. It was over the middle. I think it was in the first quarter or something. And he threw it to him, and he just bobbled it for, like, you know what I'm talking about, Kai? He bobbled it for like 4 seconds, and then he dropped it. That's an example. He's got to have strong hands. He's got to have the Eric Decker had strong hands. I guess that's good hands, but so maybe Eric Decker's not the good example. I'm trying to think who is just absolutely strong. I guess Megatron had it, but obviously Robbie Anderson's not that. Anyways, my point is that he couldn't hang on to it. But then you look at an example like the last play of the game, or the last touchdown of the game for the Jets. He's in the right position, ball's underthrown, but he's able to rip it away. So he's always in the right position. He just struggles to come down with the ball. And you can go throughout the year. You've seen times where he's open in the end zone at the deep ball, and then the ball gets knocked away. He just but so that was my biggest worry for him. But he's added more routes to his route tree. He's one of the best, if not the best, deep route wide receiver. And I'm really excited to watching him grow. And I think him and Quincy Enunwa are going to be a deadly duo in 2018.
Cool. All right, next category.
The next category is, well, I think I should organize these better, so I'm going to pick a different one than what's actually next on my list. We'll go positional group of the year. It was going to be coach of the year, but so you could say coach of the year, I guess, but you might not know the coach of the year because I was like, so positional group of the year, and this will represent whoever coaches them, and we can find out as soon as you say it because I'm not going to lie, I do not know the Jets like tight ends coach. They don't even have a tight end. It goes with the wide receivers, right?
No.
Receivers and offensive line, then?
No, we have a tight ends coach.
Okay, well, whoever the Jets tight end coach, I don't know. That's not my answer. I was just saying. Okay, so positional group of the year, Fahey.
Defensive line. Not even a question for me.
What?
Yeah.
You think the defensive line is the best position group on this team?
Overall,
that's played. But based on their play, not based on talent. The group that has like 3 sacks and, well, might have more, but they literally every sack they've had has come from. And I agree, it's more on the edge rushers than it is on the defensive line, but it's not like they've been stout against the run.
I disagree.
No, Kyle, look at there have been plenty of times the Jets need to stop.
Yeah,
look at the Bucs got a run on like 3rd and 18 late in the game, and they got it. I mean, the Jets' run defense.
Because the game was over. The defense have given up because the offense.
No, it wasn't. That was for the game. But okay, sorry. Continue.
For the game, sure.
Week 1, LaShawn McCoy rushed for like 130 yards on us. It's not like the Jets, and I know this doesn't all go on the defensive line, but it's not like the Jets have completely had a shutdown run defense. And then you look on the flip side, they have literally, had 0 to no pressure on the quarterback. consistent pressure. They've had games and great moments, and I think Coney Ealy is an example of that. But if you look at, just watch the game, Kyle. Look at the pressure they're putting on.
Yeah, and what I've seen is Coney Ealy bats down 9 balls so far. Leonard Williams takes up 2 blockers. Muhammad Wilkerson, when he's not injured, which has been his problem this year, apparently, his broken pinky toe. I guess I'm going to have to trust that. He was good when he was healthy. Those couple games. Thursday night, he didn't have a lot of rest, even though he played. And then Steve McClendon has been one of the most underrated interior defensive linemen in the NFL over the past couple of years, and he continues it this year. I think he's 3rd in the NFL in run stop percentage. I mean, overall, they may not show it every play, and it may not make all the highlights, and yeah, it may not be the rookie safeties picking up some fumbles or stripping the balls, and I'm not saying they're not doing great, because I think they are. I think this defensive line as a unit has more guys performing at a higher level. You could say what you want about Leonard Williams. Oh, he hasn't taken that next step. He's still elite. He's still a top 10 defensive tackle, and you can even put him outside if you want to. He's playing well every game. Coney Ealy, great pickup, doing his job on the outside, for the most part. He's getting solid pressure every now and then when he plays. I think he's only played like 94 snaps this year. He hasn't played a lot, but when he does, he makes an impact. As I said, Steve McClendon, what he's doing, and Muhammad Wilkerson, when he performs, shows up, or when he's healthy, whatever it may be, he performs well. I really haven't had a lot of problems with the defensive line this year. Say what you want about sacks. I don't consider that their job. I feel like that's more the linebacker's job. And I saw Let's Talk Jets on Twitter because Casey Rogers was getting some interest from Vanderbilt, or not Vanderbilt, whatever college it was. Tennessee, thank you. They were interested in him as the head coach, and Let's Talk Jets is saying, oh yeah, let's put Kevin Green as the defensive coordinator. Yeah, sure, he's a Hall of Famer, but what the hell has he done so far this year? The outside linebackers have been putrid. They've done almost nothing. Jordan Jenkins has been a good special teams player for us. I mean, he had that nice run into sack with Tyrod in the Thursday night game. You haven't seen anything from anybody else, though. I mean, I thought that was just stupid. So I'm going to defend the defensive line because I think week in and week out, they are the best unit out there.
Yeah, I mean, when I was thinking about it, I was like, so what would I give this to? Because wide receivers, and we're basing it off coach of the year, I guess. But, because positional group of the year and coach, I guess, could be different. But we kind of lumped them into one. And so you look at, wide receivers, it's like we haven't really seen the next step from our Darius Stewart and Chad Hansen, but I definitely consider giving it to Carl Durrell. You look at the quarterbacks. Wow, look at that voice crack. Amazing. The quarterbacks, that's still on top one that you had a few. I forget. I think it was a year ago. You had one that literally made my entire life. Anyways, it sounded like the Aflac bird, falling out of a window. But look at the quarterbacks, and it's like, although, yes,
this should be easy for our best coach, our coach of the year, out of all of our assistant coaches.
Sure. John, I mean, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna go Stump Mitchell. I think he's done a very good job at balancing Forte, Powell, and Elijah McGuire. And as a rookie, Elijah McGuire has been performing well.
Yeah, especially for a 6th-round draft pick. My point was, though, you could look around. I think you could also consider giving it to Mike Caldwell, and the inside linebackers coach, not because. Yep. I think Demario Davis gave up the parentheses game-winning touchdown last week, but I think Demario Davis has been playing out of his mind this season, or at least this past game, and he's had a great season. I think he's made glaring mistakes at times, but you compare him to what David Harris was last year, and I know David Harris is a faithful New York Jet, and people don't want to hate on him too much. But Demario Davis had a very solid season for an inside linebacker, and it's a guy I didn't really expect too much production out of. I was a fan of the move, but he's exceeded my expectations, and we've already touched on Darren Lee, who has been eons ahead of where he was last year. And now he's a guy that you can start to consider as, a young guy that's been performing, because before you're like, okay, you can build around Jamal Adams, Marcus May, Leonard Williams. Now you can throw in Darren Lee, and the Jets have leaders in all 3 units of their defense. If you say 4 units, then you have to go to corners, and the Jets don't really have a leader there. But even Darrell Roberts is starting to play even better. So
gets 1 interception, and you're saying he plays better when he's been bad all year. And it was an interception from Fitzpatrick. By the way, did we not call that Like at the...
We did call it at the beginning of the season that he would. No,
Yeah.
my point was, Kyle, I mean, Darryl Roberts is a guy that is, I would say I don't think many people expected that he could start and hold his own, and I think he has opposite Morris Claiborne and as the number one wide receiver in this game. So yes, I have been impressed with Darryl Roberts. I don't think he's an amazing corner, but I think he's a young guy and somebody you can keep for next year. So I guess we'll go to, this should be pretty easy, but comeback player of the year, Kyle. You could go. There's two candidates here really, but I think we both know who we would go with. Austin Seferian-Jenkins is a pretty obvious choice candidate. His Pro Bowl, or his, there goes the story, but his agent told us, or told you, I think it was, in July, that he said, I'd be shocked if Austin doesn't make the Pro Bowl. And Kyle and I were like excited, but also like he's not going to make the Pro Bowl. And I don't mean to say anything that Austin Seferian-Jenkins. None of us verbalized that, but in our head, I mean, it would be like that's a long shot for Austin Seferian-Jenkins to make the Pro Bowl. I mean, based off last year,
I kind of expected that based off his talent.
I think he's a very talented tight end, but based off last year, you got a lot of talented tight ends in the AFC, and Travis Kelce and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, it's like, and I expected a good year for him, but Austin Seferian-Jenkins has been absolutely terrific this year. They didn't throw him the ball for the entire game against Tampa, and it really hurt us.
He had 6 receptions.
And then you said, well, toward the end, Kyle, but his first catch came like...
Helped my fantasy, I'll tell you that.
Kyle, his first catch came in like the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They literally just started throwing to him at the end of the game, and you saw what a difference he opened up the entire offense. And you have to remember 2 touchdowns have been taken away from him this year.
The Tampa Bay defense had given up because the game was over.
Possibly, but you remember 4th and 20 it was. He came down with it in triple coverage or double coverage or whatever it was. I'm just saying,
Austin, you mean the safety fell asleep and let him slip past them?
Okay, pessimist. You also have to remember that Austin has had 2 touchdowns taken away from him this year, the one against New England, and then he also had 1 called back against the Bills, so for a holding that didn't really occur and didn't affect the play. It was a pass interference, but it was such a slight push-off.
They were both the correct call.
Okay, the first one was not the correct call, and we've already explained why.
Yeah, we've explained this.
And the second one was a minor push-off, but they were both hand fighting, so I don't know. But anyways. He's had a terrific year. I'm very excited. The other candidate, and we'll see if you pick this up, but I'll give you the mic to give your award. So, Mr. Fahey, fire away for your comeback player of the year. But if you don't hit him, then I'll touch on him as well. But your candidate for comeback player of the year, minus Austin Seferian-Jenkins.
Yeah, I completely forgot about ASJ, so thank you for reminding me of him. Comeback player, the only other comeback I can think of would be Morris Claiborne.
That wasn't who I was going to go with, but because he had a good year last year.
When he played, which was never.
No, I mean, he had a good year last year. I mean, even though you think he played 10 games out of 16 or something?
No, he played 8. No, 7. 7, sorry.
All right, 7.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, the other candidate I would have thrown out would be Coney Ealy.
Come back from what?
His last year in Carolina was not that good. Then he goes to the Patriots, and he gets cut in training camp. Then he comes to us.
He didn't fit either of their schemes. I mean, it's not like he wasn't playing.
Oh, my God, he didn't fit any of the... Kyle, he had a terrific year for the Carolina in 2015.
In 2015, and then they changed things on defense. They centered it more around the linebackers.
Please give me your evidence for this.
Because they were looking
you literally
to
just made that up. You just made that up.
No.
Because Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly were both in the Super Bowl defense already. They didn't just start focusing. What does it even mean? Let's focus on the linebackers.
Let's see if they changed their defensive coordinator.
They did not. The defensive coordinator is now Buffalo's head coach. I'm spacing on his name right now. He interviewed for the Jets, or he was going to interview with the Jets. Why can't I remember his name? Bald guy.
Sean
help me out. Yeah, there you go. Sean McDermott. He was their defensive coordinator, so I don't even know. They obviously did not change it.
Yeah, when he got hired, when he got hired by the Bills, they changed defensive coordinators.
No, Kyle, he just got hired by the Bills this season.
Yes. Ben.
Coney Ealy had a bad year last year with the Panthers, Kyle.
I don't recall it being bad.
It was a letdown from the year before. Anyways, my point is,
you mean it was a letdown?
He was a guy that a lot of people, if Bill Belichick gives up on you, and then you come to the Jets and have tremendous amount of success, I mean,
yeah,
I think you could argue him as a comeback. Then I guess.
No. Like comeback means injury, then.
No, it does not. Was Austin Swearingen-Jenkins injured? No, he had a comeback.
He had personal problems, then. That is a sort of injury.
So fine, would you throw in, I guess we'll change it then. Well, yes, we'll use comeback. Most improved. But that sounds like a guy who needs to be on the team from last year. Kyle, who would be your most improved player?
Certainly.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I threw Coney Ely into the it's a comeback story. I mean, I know what you mean. When the NFL does a comeback player of the year, it's normally always they're injured or they had a bad year the year before.
So bad. But Coney Ely didn't suck really bad last year.
Let's look at his stats. Please, I'll ask you the next one, and then I'm going to look up Coney Ely's stats. I'll give you, what was the best play of the season, Kyle?
Coney Ely had 5 sacks last year, which tied a career high.
Let me see this. Yeah, he had the same amount of sacks.
And he had 2 forced fumbles. So there goes your hot take, Ben.
Well, why was he released then?
Because Carolina's stupid, and it's the reason their GM was fired halfway through the offseason.
Well, I was more basing it off the fact that the Patriots cut him, but I just remember hearing, he had a letdown in 2016. He had a letdown in I mean, the guy who had 5 sacks is, not, I don't know. Anyways, that's odd. My apologies, because I guess I messed it up purely from a statistical standpoint. But why was that? I read something. Okay, I think I'm getting confused here. Well, either way, my point still stands that he is a comeback because the Bill Belichick gave up on him and he came to New York. But I'm trying to think of why I said. Anyways, Kyle, we'll keep moving. Who is what was the best play of the season? Honestly, in my mind, it involves this guy. Possibly.
Have we had a good play?
Yeah, or
maybe Bilal Powell. Probably Bilal Powell.
Which one?
Not getting touched.
That was not that cool. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't that amazing of a play.
That's the only play I can remember.
I think Elijah McGuire's play would be better than that. His run was better than that. Because Elijah McGuire was just pure speed. The play I was going to throw in was there was either Jamal Adams running after Jay Cutler and batting the ball in the air, Tamaha Wilkerson intercepting it. Coney Ely's bat into the air and then the interception was pretty cool. As far as offensive plays, yeah, I guess that would probably be it. I'm trying to think if there's any. We're totally missing some awesome catch or something. Why can I not think of anything?
Maybe Jermaine Kearse in Oakland.
No, I don't think that would be the play of the year. What am I forgetting? I don't know. I think it's Coney Ely batting the ball into the air. I mean, you guys can all, again, tweet us your answers.
In a game that we lost, right?
No, we won. We beat the Jaguars.
Oh, the Coney Ely batting.
It could be Robbie Anderson's catch in Atlanta or against Atlanta. I don't know. I'll say this. I think the best play of the year is yet to come. Worst play of the year.
Oh, wow. Hot take, then. Thank you.
Worst play of the year.
Oof. Every McCown sack that he could have easily gotten rid of the ball.
This one's so obvious, and it's the interception McCown had against the Dolphins.
Which one?
The one where they were literally, it was just like, all right, they'll need the ball out, take it to overtime, and they just threw an interception.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah, that has to be the worst play of the year. That by far. We'll stick with this similar topic. Best game of the year.
For us or for football fans?
Either one. Probably the Jets-Bills one.
It's probably the same. It's probably the same either way.
Yeah, I would say probably Jets-Bills one. I would say I thought the Dolphins one was fantastic for the Jets just to shut them down. I also thought they had a very solid Jaguars game until they kind of blew it in the fourth quarter. But yeah, it has to be the Bills game. Worst game of the year, I would probably go with probably Oakland. Because at least this one, their defense played well, even though I know they were going up against Ryan Fitzpatrick. But at least this one, I mean, their defense played They at least, stopped.
By far, it was the Dolphins game.
No, worst game of the year, Kyle. I mean, that's a quarter. Yes, yeah. No, for me, the toughest pill to swallow all year was that Dolphins game. But I just said worst game as far as, just what was the worst game overall. And I would probably have to say the Oakland one. Because at least the Tampa Bay one,
it would be the Tampa one.
No, because at least the defense was good.
The defense wasn't good. They didn't have Mike Evans or Jameis Winston.
That doesn't matter, Kyle.
It does matter. That's not a confident NFL offense.
They still forced turnovers. They still gave opportunities to their offense. I don't know. We'll go Offensive Rookie of the Year. Not really much to choose from, but
Elijah McGuire.
Yeah, has to be it. Not much explanation needed there. I'm excited to watch him again. Another guy that I'd like to see throughout these next 6 games. Kyle, a quick prediction time to interrupt the Faheys. Do you think by the end of the year we could see a lineup of Bryce Petty, Elijah McGuire, Chad Hansen, or Darius Stewart with Robbie Anderson?
No.
That would at least be fun to watch. It'd be a fun experiment. But
chance in hell the Jets do it.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, probably Marcus May.
Yeah, Marcus May.
I mean, I think both Jamal Adams and Marcus May have been fantastic this year. We'll save that one for last. Who's the swaggiest player on the team, Kyle?
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, it has to be Jamal. Who had the best dance?
Also Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to go Jamal again. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else throughout the year, any touchdown dances we've liked.
Oh, Robbie hopping into the...
I think that was probably the coolest one we've had. Robbie sitting and chilling in the Miami Dolphins stands. I've just completely blocked that game out. I don't like to think about it. All right, 5 more.
Goddamn.
What was the biggest offseason mistake? Based off what you've seen through one half of the year.
Nick Mangold.
Nick Mangold was kind of not that great last year, though.
Wesley Johnson has been putrid, and
we also freed up like $10 million by cutting him.
Oh yeah, because we really need that $10 million right now, Ben.
I don't know.
God forbid we couldn't sign Josh McCown.
I would say mistake. I mean, obviously, in retrospect, you could look at not drafting Deshaun Watson and stuff like that.
I still think Jamal Adams was the better player.
I think Jamal Adams was a terrific pick, but I mean, would Jets fans be happier with Deshaun Watson and Marcus May? And then you're starting, probably Rontez Miles or Terrence Brooks or even Calvin Pryor might still be on the team.
No.
At strong safety, who knows?
Deshaun Watson wouldn't even be close to what he was playing at, right?
Yeah, no. I think he would show a lot of promise, though. But statistically, you're right. Yes, I mean he has Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins and Lamar
and
Miller
a competent offensive coach.
Yes. What was the best move the Jets made all offseason?
Sheldon Richardson, because it was highway robbery.
Yeah. I mean, and it really also helps the Jets having to trade up to get a top pick, too, because the Jets have 2 second-round draft picks. So we can throw 2 second-round draft picks, it can lessen the blow.
More safeties.
Yeah. Well, no. I think that was a terrific move. If I had to have anything else, I might add, I think the Morris Claiborne signing turned out to be maybe one of Mac's best free agent signing if he can stay healthy.
No, he hasn't been that good, Ben.
But think about who else Carpenter is number 1 right now, but think about the other free agent signings he's had. Crickets. I mean, everyone had some...
we traded for him.
He traded for him, but I mean, even he was bad after 1 year.
He's still arguably the best wide receiver in the franchise a long time.
Yes, that 2015 Brandon Marshall was the best they've had in a long time. Yeah, I agree. I'd probably say drafting Marcus May would be the best move he made. 2nd-round pick. I mean, it was a move that was questioned, but I think he did a good job.
By idiots, I may add.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people 2 safeties, but he's actually turned out to be a ball hawk. And somebody made this comparison, and it's very, it's almost outrageous. But I mean, you watch him play, he definitely shows his potential. Somebody said he's playing like Ed Reed right now. I think that's
not even no.
Kyle, I'm not saying that he's Ed Reed right now. Like I'm not saying he is Ed Reed.
I see almost.
The point was they're seeing Ed Reed play style, meaning in 4 years you don't think you could be a Pro Bowl safety at playing like Ed Reed. He hits hard.
Ed Reed is
he hits hard. And he's a ball hawk.
Safety of all time.
Yeah, probably.
So, no, I don't see that, Ben.
You don't see he has that potential?
No. I don't think Jamal Adams has that potential.
Wait, you'd give Ed Reed best safety of all time over like Ronnie Lott or Steve Atwater or...
Yeah, Ed Reed played in a more passing game. Ronnie Lott played late 80s, early 90s, right?
Same with Steve Atwater, yeah.
Yeah,
Atwater's
so
actually later.
Ed Reed he played in the more passing style NFL.
All right. 3 more to go. We'll say guy who's made his case to return in 2018. A guy who would maybe be on the bubble going to the year. I mean, if you're going to say like Leonard Williams, like no, just a guy who was, again, if you wanted to do nominees, you could do Morris Claiborne, you could do Muhammad Wilkerson, you could do Steve McClendon, you could do Josh McCown, you could do, I mean, just think about that. Those guys. Matt Forte, guys who you would think at the beginning of the year, Jermaine Kearse, these guys you're like, hey, he might not be back in 2018. It was at least a question. DeMario Davis, the guy who's made the best case for him to return in 2018.
Todd Bowles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Please explain.
The team plays hard for him, which is something I didn't expect. I thought they would give up by now. They haven't, which is good on them. That shows we have some character guys in the locker room. We don't have a quarterback. We don't have a running back. We don't have a number 1 wide receiver. Our center's been playing like trash. The defense, for the most part, has been good. And that's what Todd Bowles has been responsible for. I think John Moran's done a decent job at working with the guys he has on offense. Like I said, I really only like a couple guys on there as a playmaker perspective. Todd Bowles getting 4 wins is pretty good. I only expected them to get that 2 to 4 range. And they have 4 10 games in. So, props to him. The team's playing hard, and he's coached better than I expected him to. There hasn't been a time this year where I was like, what the hell are you doing? Which is uncharacteristic.
I've had a few of those.
Not that dramatically affected the game.
The week 1 against Buffalo. With 8 minutes to go, 4th and 2 at midfield, you're down 10 points and you punt the ball.
I don't recall being angry about that at the time.
People were very angry about it. It was
people were also angry about a lot of other things, Ben, and they turned out to be completely wrong.
I mean, fine. I was angry about that. I mean,
that
you could argue, well, we wouldn't have
more.
won, but it's like, yeah, well, you still have to go for it. Like, you still have to take that chance and then it was like the risk reward. It was a bad punt. I don't know.
So you're saying Todd Bowles helped the tank?
Week 1, yeah, people were like, wow, he's really embracing the tank. Yeah, but I agree. He's had way less clock management, things like that have affected the team. Watch us just completely jinx him. But so far, you're right. He has improved on his clock management. He hasn't made too many bonehead decisions. But you can still argue, I mean, if the Jets
besides Josh McCown.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. If the Jets lose 3 games in a row here, and they're still playing Josh McCown, I think you might switch your tide on Todd Bowles not making any bonehead decisions. You know?
Yeah, there's always time. I mean, just give me a reason to hate him, and I will do it.
All right. Yeah, I think you said pretty much everything. If I was to go player, I would have said Jeremy Curley if he hadn't had any of the PED things. And I will say, I mean, this is the first game we've had without Jeremy Curley, and our offense is completely different. So I'd like to see when he comes back for this. He'll only have 2 games, I believe, or 3 games by then. But I hope I don't think the PED has probably affected his performance that much. But I at least think he deserves a chance to come into training camp next year. Same with Jermaine Kearse. Kearse is a little less. Kearse is not a number 1 wide receiver, but he's at least a talented guy. He's pretty young. So I think both those wide receivers have given at least so far enough of a reason to at least investigate bringing him back, because it's like, so what else are you going to do with Jermaine Kearse? He's pretty cheap. He might have a player option. But I'm not entirely sure on that. He does have a player option. So let's say so I guess the Jets don't really have much of a say, but let's say he does do it. Let's say he wants to stay. Nobody's really going to trade for him, I don't think.
Watch us get like a 4th-round pick for him. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. But I just think that right now, I think both those wide receivers have done it. 2 more. There's this one and then a pretty obvious one. The guy who needs to go the most. Who's proved this year that he needs to go?
Buster Screen.
Wow. All right. Well, I agree with that. I thought you were going to go somewhere else, though, but okay. Explain.
He is the scum of the earth.
Well, I agree that Buster Skriniar needs to go. I was thinking Muhammad Wilkerson, so for some reason I thought we were on the same wave.
Yeah, no, yeah. See, I if anything, we trade Muhammad Wilkerson. I don't think he has to go.
Oh, Kyle, who's going to trade for that contract, Kyle? Kyle, who's trading for him? Because one, makes what?
Ben, who gives up a second-round pick and a number 2 wide receiver for a defensive end who hasn't done anything in 3 years?
But at least that defensive end is young, cheap, and has something to at least like the Jets have leverage there. It's like, all right, we'll keep him. And has shown a lot of dominance. Muhammad Wilkerson is aging. I think he's, 28, 29. He makes $17 million a year. He's done nothing the past 2 years. He hasn't been the same since his injury. He hasn't been the same since his injury, Kyle. And it's like the other team would hold the entire language because everybody knows.
Idiot.
What?
All it takes is one idiot. And trust me, there's a lot of them in the NFL.
All the teams hold the leverage because they know, look, the Jets aren't going to. The Jets have a young Leonard Williams. Coney Ealy's playing well, and he's 25 years old. They're going to be like, you know what? The Jets will probably cut Muhammad Wilkerson because the Jets don't want to bite the $17 million bullet. They can get out of it if they cut him. So the Jets have zero leverage here. You're right. Maybe there's a team that's like, you know what? We want to ensure Muhammad goes here. We like what he had. Maybe there's a connection. I can't think of any off my top of my head, but there's a coach or somebody that's been around Muhammad. I know Anthony Lynn was, but I don't think to the extent that he'd want to trade a 7th-round draft. But maybe somebody trades a 6th-round draft pick or something to try to secure him. But I'll say this, is what's Marcel Darius fetched a 6th, right? And he's at least...
Marcel Darius.
What did I say, Marcel?
You said, like, Merkel.
I said Marcel Darius.
That's not
right. Merkel Darius. What? Merkel Darius. No, Marcel Darius. He fetched a 6th-round draft pick. So, do you think Muhammad Wilkerson's fetching that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Marcel Darius is younger. I don't know.
Has multiple DUIs. Is like one failed drug test away from a suspension for a whole season.
So who do you think? And so I guess you're not going to be able to give a team because you can't. But what would the price be, you think? What do you think the Jets could evenly get for Muhammad Wilkerson right now?
5th.
5th-round draft pick. Didn't Jay Ajayi get like a 5th or 4th?
He got a 4th.
Yeah, so Jay Ajayi gets a 4th. Muhammad Wilkerson gets a 5th. All right. All right. Last question. MVP of the season.
Well, damn. Chris Johnson. Not CJ2K.
Yeah, I was about 2014, Kyle, but okay.
Owner, Chris Johnson. Change the culture, baby.
Yet you're still in favor of losing like 15 games, and you're talking about changing the culture.
That's called getting a quarterback, baby. Come on.
What has Chris Johnson done that's changed the culture?
I don't know. These guys
came in like September.
They seem really united, and they all believe in Jesus.
But that's more with that's more with Bulls, though.
No.
You don't think? I mean, it seems the evident that.
Well, Ben, I'm going to be honest. I don't have an MVP for this team. There hasn't been a player who was like, oh, if we didn't have him, we'd be screwed.
Marcus May, Jamal Adams.
Nope.
Leonard Williams, he seemed to be big on his season.
Yes, but Steve McClendon can come in.
MVP of the season. So if just the guy who's been, I guess, who's
MVP
played
is always on offense.
Fine.
The most valuable player is always on offense.
Doesn't have to be. No, it doesn't have to be. For the Jets, it's not normally.
Always. It has to be on offense.
Oh, okay. Kyle. Last year was Leonard Williams, I'm pretty sure, for the Jets. At least
no, Quincy Enunwa.
Was Quincy?
Yeah.
No, for the
team. No. Are you talking about what the actual team voted?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It was Leonard, but I feel like the obvious answer would be Quincy Enunwa based off of his production.
All right. Kyle, let's just give guys played the best throughout 8 games.
Robbie Anderson.
I agree with that. I could also, again, throw out Marcus May. I could throw out Jamal Adams for, again, that culture shock or culture change you were talking about. But I'll go with the brand, ASJ. I think he has added another element to the offense. I think he's the first Jets tight end to have any sort of success since probably what's Dustin Keller? Probably. I mean, if you think about it, since like 2009, Dustin Keller.
What about the guy who had lube in the Target parking lot? What was that?
Kellen Winslow. Yeah, actually, he did have a solid game or a solid year in 2013.
He had solid hands. Everything just stuck to his hands. It was amazing.
All right, Kyle. But I think Austin Seferian-Jenkins has been completely changed the offense. I think he's exciting. He's young. He's motivated. He wants to be a Jet. He's the type of guy you want in the locker rooms. I'm very excited to watch him and have him in 2018 and hopefully beyond. All right, so we burned through, I think that was probably 20 questions there. That might be wrong, but that's the first edition of the Fahey's name in under construction. So if anybody wants to pass along any award show names they have for the Jets, feel free. So we'll move on from that topic. I guess we can talk about. I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking at the list.
No,
right
I'm
now.
done. I'm done.
You're done. You don't want to talk about the Tyrod Taylor stuff? You wanted to give a rant about that. You said earlier.
I wanted to give a rant on an idiot on Twitter.
Who would that be?
I think you know.
Okay. Why? Without calling people out, Kyle. Keep it friendly. Why do you explain the circumstance and explain your position?
The individual threw out blind, false knowledge about Tyrod Taylor just to promote a culture that Tyrod is not good for certain reasons. And it is the most incredibly fake, false thing going around in the NFL right now, commonly used by a lot of Bills fans just to go against Tyrod for, as I said, certain reasons. And now I see a couple guys in Jets communities using it. Oh, I don't want to hear anything about Tyrod coming to the Jets. All you buffoons. I forget the exact quote that the individual said, but he basically said that anybody who wanted Tyrod was stupid. But yet that individual made shirts for Josh McCown and Bryce Petty. And Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't know. And then he got clobbered by Edward Galorlick, the stat god, who just put him through the shredder.
Well, what is your opinion on Tyrod Taylor? Because I'd be for him.
Top 15 quarterback in the NFL should not have been benched.
So I'll look at this. I don't think he should have been benched, but I don't think so let's look at his stats. I pulled him up here. He has 1,600 yards in the season. I'll compare him to Josh McCown. Josh McCown has had 2,242 yards in the season. Tyrod Taylor has had 1,684. So McCown wins that. As far as completion percentage goes, both have thrown. McCown's thrown a little more balls, so that might explain, but not by too much. But the Bills are a running offense. But completion percentage for the Bills. For Tyrod is 64.2. Josh McCown is 69%. Average of 6 yards per throw on the bit for Tyrod Taylor, and average of 7 for Josh McCown. So McCown's won all 3. Touchdowns 10 for Tyrod Taylor. Touchdowns 14 for Josh McCown. 3 interceptions for Tyrod Taylor. 8 for Josh McCown. So Tyrod Taylor wins that.
He has 8 interceptions?
Yeah.
What?
It also says he has 9 fumbles.
No, that's not right.
That's on ESPN.
No way in hell he has 9 fumbles.
They have to have messed that up. He has not fumbled the ball 9 times.
You know what? I think
that was a typo, but everything else is right. He has thrown 8 interceptions. That can't be right. He has not fumbled the ball 9 times. Really?
How many lost fumbles does he have?
Oh, that might be what it is. But I don't even think of 9 times he lost the ball.
Well, 2 in the Atlanta game for sure.
Oh, it might be 9. And I know he had one against the Bucks this year, but he recovered it. Does that even count if the ball moves and hits the ground and then he just picks it up?
Yeah, that's a fumble.
Yeah, so maybe they counted those. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll go with that. 9 fumbles compared to Tyrod Taylor's 2, but we'll ignore that. QBR 52 for Josh McCown, 53 for Tyrod Taylor, and quarterback rating 93.7 for McCown and 91.4 for Tyrod Taylor. Just to give it some context, the Bills do run the ball more. So when you're in the red zone, you're going to see a lot of running with LaShawn McCoy.
And they really only have one weapon on offense.
And yes, that is a good point. The Bills are depleted and have 0 weapons really for him.
Their offensive line is pathetic.
They did bring in Kelvin Benjamin, but Tyrod has not had one game to play with him. And Kelvin
and Jordan Matthews, who is a talented receiver out of the slot, who has been used on the outside continuously, even though it's not his strength. He's also been injured a lot, and he hasn't learned the playbook completely. So even if you want to just look at the names, Kelvin Benjamin and Jordan Matthews, look a little deeper, realize Tyrod hasn't really played with either of them. He's throwing to guys like Brandon Tate and Zay Jones. Zay Jones has dropped like 8 balls this year. He didn't drop 1 ball in his college career. Like, I don't know what the difference is. But really, Shady McCoy is the only option on that offense. Charles Clay, sometimes. Baby hands Nick O'Leary, sometimes. They have nobody on that offense. Vlad Ducase is on that offensive line, if that tells you anything, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So Kyle, I guess we'll just who do you think is the best option for the Jets quarterback in 2018?
That we can realistically get?
Yeah, I guess you can give one for. We'll do the draft quarterbacks later. So ignore the draft. Let's say the Jets are picking 16th. We'll talk about draft quarterbacks. That's our next thing, and then we'll wrap up the show. But free agency quarterbacks. I'm trying to think of them off the top of my head. So we got Tyrod Taylor. We're gonna have at least
Kirk
2.
Cousins.
Yeah, well, Kirk Cousins. We're gonna have at least 2 of the Vikings quarterbacks, right? Out of Case Keenum, Teddy Bridgewater, and Sam Bradford, you have to assume at least 2, maybe only 1, will be available.
Okay, well, I don't want Case Keenum. So
Case Keenum's playing pretty nice right now. You're right. So maybe they'll keep Keenum and Bridgewater. Anyways, 1 or 2 of those Vikings quarterbacks will be available. I don't think Garoppolo is available because, but there was the report.
No, he will be. He will be.
You think because Beathard had a nice game against the Giants.
CJ Beathard? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. They did give up a second-round pick, but Beathard's playing nice, but we'll keep him out of it for now. Then I guess the one big one is, and I know you're going to already get on me, but it's going to be one of these Colts quarterbacks, and I think it could be Andrew Luck. I don't know. It sounded like a pipe dream.
If Andrew Luck is available, his career is over. You don't get rid of a top 5 quarterback.
But people thought that with Peyton Manning, Kyle. That's why the Colts got rid of him then in 2011. Is because they thought.
Yeah, and then he juiced up and had to win one Super Bowl.
No, he had 4 good years left, or I guess 3.5. 3 and then a Super Bowl year.
He juiced up then.
Well, and
he was also carried by a top 5 defensive all time.
You're right. Well, the last year for sure. My point is that it sounded like a pipe dream that you think, they could have just traded for Andrew Luck. But it's like, 1, Brissett's playing pretty good football right now. 2,
not a shocker.
Well, and 2, he's healthy. So far he's proved that he's durable. Andrew Luck is not. 3, Andrew Luck, the haul you could get for him is insane. You're right. Maybe he's not completely healthy. You don't know. He has had a problem turning over football.
I'm just gonna say.
I think he's a top 5 quarterback when healthy. But you don't think the Colts look at it as like, look, he's on and off again. He cannot stay on the field. His stock is pretty high right now. We have a guy who's playing great football. We could probably deal Andrew Luck and get like 3 first-round draft picks for him. We could completely change the Colts because right now the Colts have Jacoby Brissett playing well right now. But then think about the rest of that team. It's pretty dry.
Yeah, no, the Colts are
Frank
terrible.
Gore's their starting running back.
Yeah, Andrew Luck led them to an AFC.
Like I said, Marlon Mack and well, I agree, but I'm just saying you don't think they're like, okay, let's go add to this defense, let's build around Brissett. Look, I still think it's a long shot, but I still think it is a possibility. I'll say this, again, like the Vikings, I think one of them will be made available. Because although it's nice and it's a luxury to have 2 quarterbacks, and hey, maybe the Colts will do it, but when you have a team like that has holes all over the place, you're going to deal one of them and try to get draft capital and to build a team up. But unless they're like, okay, we like Andrew Luck, we think he's the quarterback of the future, but we're not sure if he's going to be able to stay healthy. We'll go into this year. If he can't stay healthy, then we'll ride with Brissett and trade Luck at the deadline or, whatever. Or if Luck's healthy, then we'll trade Brissett at the deadline. Just whatever. But I think at some point one of those quarterbacks is going to be made available. So out of all those guys and any others that you want to throw in, Mike Glennon, whoever you want to throw in.
Please no.
Yeah, no, I don't want him either. But I'm just saying, any guys you could think of, who are you interested in this 2018? Who do you think is some of the best options?
Like, you didn't name the best one.
Wait, let me think. Let me just think. We already talked about Tyrod. We talked. Give me division. What division? Oh, and just by the way, just to ruin Kyle, I think Eli Manning might be available this offseason.
I think I would have to end it then.
Well, I just think about it. I mean, the Giants might have the number 1 overall pick, because the Niners just beat them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be between the Giants and the Browns.
The Niners still have the higher pick.
You're right, but I mean, well, either way, the Giants are going to be in the position for a top quarterback.
Yeah.
Eli Manning is on the back 9 of his career.
Yep.
You don't think the Giants can be like, all right, we'll trade him. If nobody bites, then we'll cut him. And I don't know. So I think Eli Manning could be available for Kyle to be angry at. You could also look at Brett Hundley if he has a nice last 6 games
Ben,
here.
you're missing the best one by far.
I'll get to him in a second. I'm going through literally like every team I could think of. I'll get to it in a second. I'm just trying to think. We talked about Kirk Cousins.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the first one you said.
Oh, I said Kirk Cousins?
Oh, yeah, you started the list, and I was just going through the back guys that, you started with Kirk Cousins.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well then now I don't think there's anybody else. Garoppolo,
Andy Dalton.
maybe. Oh, God, no. Yeah, Dalton.
Oh, you don't want the red rifle?
McCarron. I mean, but I will say this. There's going to be an abnormal amount of quarterbacks kind of available this year.
Yeah.
The free agent class.
Watch Sam Darnold come out just because of that.
Wait, wouldn't that make him not want to come out? You want to come out when there's a dearth of quarterbacks.
No, you want to come out when you can land in a good spot.
I think as a draftee, I would want to come out when there's hardly any quarter. I want to come out in a year that's a bad quarterback year, because instead of being like the 5th ranked quarterback, you'd be the number 1 overall quarterback.
No, Sam Darnold would be number 1.
I agree. He's kind of like he's a poor man's Andrew Luck right now, because Luck struggles with turning over the football too, but Darnold is less polished and also turns the ball over at a high rate as well.
He has those stupid mistakes, but he's, I said earlier on Jet Nation Radio that out of the people who I think are going to come out, and I don't think Sam Darnold's going to come out in this draft class, I think Josh Rosen in this draft class is the most polished quarterback, but if Sam Darnold comes out, he's still by far my number 1 quarterback.
Yeah, I like Darnold as well. Lamar Jackson is really growing on me as well. I worry about.
I'm concerned about his frame. I
was about to say his frame and then his style of play.
His deep accuracy.
No, I mean,
pretty bad.
But people said that was Deshaun Watson. I am not worried. I think Lamar Jackson is a good passer, and I think he can win with his arm.
He's improved every year.
I will say, yeah, he has. But I will say he's an amazing runner. And
yes.
And I'm worried about, and that's amazing, and that's great to have, but I'm worried, yes, his play style accompanied with a small frame when you're facing NFL linebackers. But, I mean, I will say he's proven to be pretty durable throughout his college career. So he shot off the boards for me. But, yes, you don't want another RG3 scenario where he tears his ACL and then isn't the same quarterback.
I don't know.
But there's going to be an abnormal amount of quarterbacks available. So we'll start with the draft class, or we'll start with the free agent class. Kyle, I mean, who are your favorite guys? Who is your favorite guy? Who do you think the Jets will sign? Just talk a little bit about that. I mean, we will literally probably have 10 episodes on this from the end of the season. I mean, well, I guess through these next few weeks, as long as the Jets keep losing, and then all the way until March, and then if the Jets don't sign one, then through April, and then we'll talk about them the entire offseason. But as the early talks, just because we're entering a bye week and there's nothing to talk about, next week we'll do more of a preview show. We don't have to preview the Panthers game yet. But just, I mean, right now, I guess we can start creating the 2018 quarterback free agent big board, and then we have the draft one, and then we can kind of combine them when we get closer to it. But give me your top guy.
For what specifically? All free agents or
first? We'll do the quarterback draft rankings and after this, but your free agents first.
Le'Veon Bell, number 1.
Oh, I was talking about free agent quarterbacks, but.
Oh, well, I asked all free agents, and you said yeah.
Okay, well, sorry. I thought you meant like all free agent quarterbacks, but I guess yeah. Give your free agent rankings, but then please try to narrow down on some top quarterbacks.
Le'Veon Bell, Sammy Watkins, Kirk Cousins. It's probably my top 3 free agents.
Are you going to address the defense at all, corner?
I don't know free agent corners off the top of my head. I'm going to guess Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie.
Tremaine Johnson.
Who?
Tremaine Johnson.
Hard pass. Like, I will not even consider him.
So would you give the money for Le'Veon Bell if you were to become available?
Yeah, I think I would.
I will say this, though. The Jets have a lot of money, some draft capital, so a young foundation, a solid core. I mean, it's like this team actually, if McCagnon does it right, can be a contender. They're in a position where, and I know you wanted to see them lose for the pick, but think about it. I mean, if you're losing, it just means your team is not, I'd rather be sitting at a 7-9 season with this roster, and then you get to add on to it. But I don't know. It's just like it seems like the Jets are putting themselves in a position to be a next team like the Raiders or somebody who builds organically. Jets have some draft capital, a lot of money. I'm excited to see it. If McCagnon does it right, picks the right pieces, invests young, I think if they get the quarterback for sure, I think this team could be a contender next year. And I don't think that's too much of an asinine statement to make. Yeah, but I guess we kind of did a rundown there. Let's go. Last thing we do, quarterback rankings for college. Kyle, give me your list. Top 5.
Rosen, Mayfield.
You can keep Darnold in there, by the way.
Oh, Darnold.
All
Rosen.
eligible people to come out, and until they announce they're not coming out, then we won't talk about them.
Darnold, Rosen, Mayfield, Jackson, Rudolph.
Yeah, I'd probably go Darnold number 1. I don't love Rosen, but I think he'll be a solid quarterback. I'll go, just to mix it up, I'll go Darnold, Jackson, Rosen, Mayfield. I guess Rudolph. There's another quarterback that I'm forgetting here. Who's the other Kyle, who's the other college quarterback that I can't think of? I guess it's Rudolph.
Allen?
Oh, yeah, Josh Allen. I'd probably put Josh Allen ahead of Mason Rudolph, just purely based on ceiling.
No.
You wouldn't base off ceiling?
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Is that a insult to Josh Allen, who, by the way, was your top guy entering the year? Or
Yeah.
is that a thing talking about how good Mason Rudolph is?
It's how Josh Allen hasn't developed as a passer like I hoped he would.
I see. Well, 2 quarterback experts here. One was all for Garrett Grayson being the next Peyton Manning, Kyle, and then I guess myself. I will say I was a big Kaiser and Watson guy. One looked good and then got injured, and Kaiser actually had a pretty solid game against the Lions there. He's showing growth. I didn't want him to go to Cleveland. I said he needs to go to a contender where he can sit for a bit, learn, get some time, like KC or somebody. But I thought considering the situation he's in and the roster he's surrounded by, actually the Cleveland Browns have an okay roster, but they're not playing that way on the field. The situation he's in, I actually think he's doing a solid job. At least this past week against the Lions, he looked good. I didn't like that the Lions sat on. Did you see that at the end of the half? They tried a quarterback sneak with 12 seconds to go. They didn't get it, but they had no timeouts, and then the Lions literally just sat on him.
Happened to be the first 2 quarterbacks taken. So
that doesn't matter. Ryan Leaf was the second overall player taken.
The NFL GMs agreed with me. What happens off the field and
Kyle, I don't care about the NFL GMs. I care about what happens on the field. All that matters is
most of what happens on the field is due to lack of preparation by players or lack of commitment.
That doesn't matter, Kyle. I love that. I love the way you wiggled around that. So we made a quarterback ranking, and Kyle's 2 guys get picked before my guys, but because my guys played better, he's like, well, my guy, the NFL agreed with me, so that means Kyle, I based it off who was going to play better football, and my guys right now are playing better football than your guys.
Your guys aren't even playing football right now.
One was, and then was playing out of his mind, and then now is injured.
And got hurt, which was a big
And one
worry.
is showing a lot of promise. Okay, Kyle?
A lot of promise. Really.
It is. I didn't say he needed to start immediately. I wanted him to go to,
Ben, 3 times they got benched. They tried to trade for A.J. McCarron. That shows you how much they were ready to give up on him. He wasn't there for 4 months, and they were trying to trade for another crappy quarterback.
Look, I didn't say he should go to the Browns. I thought he would be good in a place where he could sit behind a veteran quarterback like Alex Smith. I forget
where Patrick Mahomes went. My God.
Yeah, I thought that would have been a great situation for him. And your thing hinges on Patrick Mahomes, because then, assuming Deshaun Watson comes back healthy, then it'll be a Deshaun.
Which he won't.
Yeah. Wow, really? In today's day and age, when Adrian Peterson had the best season of his career coming off an ACL.
Adrian Peterson is a top 2 running back of all time.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But Philip Rivers played on a torn ACL. It's not imperative to a quarterback to have an amazing ACL. And assuming using today's technology, Deshaun Watson should probably still be able to play football the way he did. I'm just saying Adrian Peterson and running back, which is the position you need the most cuts and jumps and jukes and whatever, and he did it. And it was 8 yards shy of Eric Dickerson's record? I don't know. That's where we're going to end the show. Thank you to everybody for listening to another episode of the Jet Take. We really enjoyed it. Kyle and I went back and forth. It was fun, but I guess we did a weak plug in the middle, but I'll do it again right now. As always, you can listen to our show on iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, iHeartRadio. We're all over the place, any podcatchers you're interested in. You can follow our show on social media. The Jet Take, at the Jet Take on Twitter. That's the best place to follow us. Over 1,000 followers. We tweet daily. Tweet at us. Give us suggestions for the name we should call our awards. Troll us. We don't care. We love talking to the fans of the show. We're also on Instagram, Facebook, as I mentioned YouTube earlier, but I guess that's a social media. We'll probably do callers. Next week. So the number to call in is 515-739-1285. Enter the PIN 261860 with the hashtag sign. And as always, go to turnonthejets.com for the best Jets content around there. I'm not just saying that because our show's on there. I firmly believe that is the best place to find Jets content. Our podcast is also published there as well. If you want to check out our show or others like Play Like a Jet, Draft Season, or the Turn on the Jets podcast, great articles weekly. So make sure to follow at Joe Caparoso on Twitter. If you're not following him and you're a Jets fan, you're making a big mistake. And while you're there, you might want to follow us as well. I don't think we're as good, but I still think we bring some fire occasionally. You can follow me personally at Ben W. Blessington on Twitter, and you can follow Kyle at Kyle Fahey NFL because he's an official member of the NFL media. That'll do it for this week. We'll be back next week. As I mentioned, we'll be doing a little giveaway. So we're excited to be launching that. And we'll also be talking about previewing the Panthers game, kind of just continuing some abstract conversations because, these shows are just Kyle and I talking. We'll also have callers and stuff. So it'll be fun. So make sure to tune in next Wednesday for our show then. Anyways, thank you guys. You guys are the best around the league. Some of the best fans here in New York. And we'll leave you with the best chant for the best fans in the world. We'll talk to you guys next Wednesday. Kyle Fahey's laptop died, so he did not join us for the last 3 minutes.